Welcome back to the LCS and the State Farm Analyst Desk. We are happy to be joined by Cloud9's Jack and Team Liquid Honda's Steve ahead of their face-off today. Jens, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having
me. We only have you for like 5-6 minutes before the teams are ready to go, so we're going to dive straight into it. But we have to start with the history of both of these organizations, both of your teams, because you're two of the most storied in all of LCS history. I mean, this graphic alone, just looking at the accolades that you guys have racked up over, 10 years now of the LCS is just absolutely
tons of Worlds appearances as well.
Yeah.
Multiple championships. 4-3, I think, slightly in Steve's favor, if I'm not mistaken.
That's probably
Some
true.
real painful ones.
It's gone both ways. I mean, just alone, the 43-37 all-time head-to-head, that's a razor-thin margin right there, which I think goes to show how back and forth these orgs have been, both having their moments of dominance and both having their time to chase the other. Let's go ahead and relive some of the top moments in C9 history first, and then we'll flip over to the TL side. So I'm kind of curious what goes through your brain as we take a look at some of these moments, reliving the history.
Absolutely love that moment right there.
2013.
Oh, wait,
That incredibly dominant season. That was our very first.
What are you squinting at, Steve?
is that in Seattle at PAX? I could try to.
Yeah, that was
I think it was. I think you're right. Yeah,
And this one is in our studio.
absolutely. Yeah, 2014 spring, I was a ref during that while you guys were winning that. Actually, yeah, I started hosting Summer 2014, but yeah, I used to ref behind you guys, which was pretty
That was
great.
the special one.
Oh, this is the COVID
That was the
one.
pandemic one. This
Oh,
is where we broke our
That's
trophy.
trophy into the ceiling. Yeah, that's trophy into the ceiling.
I actually forgot
No,
that
it
one.
wasn't just they broke it into the ceiling, but they all dropped it. They turned around and let it hit the ground. And I was just like there. I was like, oh my God, what just happened?
It was so funny talking to Zven after that, because there was the thing going around, like Zven broke trophies, like I didn't do it, I swear.
No, we checked the tape, and like they all let go at the same time. Just let it hit the ground. I was like, what the?
That is absolutely so brilliant. Same thing, though, on the Team Liquid side of things. I mean,
Summer
of course,
Split,
most people,
Ole double.
oof,
Oh,
4 in a row. I mean, my goodness.
that was a really good run. Yeah.
Do you think, but
I
like,
remember that one.
where,
Oh, that's when we beat you guys,
Or
right?
is that might be
Is that the
TSM.
3-2?
And then the next
Yeah.
one is
There's a 3-0 on the second one, I think.
also, I think the TL squad with the Ginyu Force pose is probably the best team pose we've ever had. That probably
Oh, that was an awesome
Yeah.
opening. They planned that.
That's what I'm saying.
In the practice room before they went on.
Yeah, I think that might be the winner for a kind of a team display at the outset of a finals or something like that. But either way, both of these orgs have been at the top pretty much for a decade. But now we want to get into a little bit more about the two of you as owners, as people. So we've got this jar stacked between you. One of you can just go ahead and flip it open, and Jack, why don't you just pull one out? We'll see what it says.
I'll give it to you.
Oh,
Okay.
so nice.
All right. So I'm asking Jack this
Let's
question.
read it out. Let's see if we need.
You asked me the question.
Okay, Jack, which player on your team is the clumsiest?
Oh, that's an interesting question. My current team is actually not very clumsy, but I got a couple of guys in my mind. Spillscarin and Sneaky. Like, those guys were legendary in that they spilled so often, like Sneaky, like coffee, we used to have these white cotton hoodies. We had to carry extras with us everywhere we went, and all of our managers had like stain sticks, like required. It was actually insane. So, yeah, those guys were the clumsiest.
That is, I kind of forgot about Spillscarin. That's
actually nuts.
Brilliant, right?
Yeah,
And then it kind of
extra keyboards everywhere.
Oh my goodness! All right, does a player jump to mind for you on your squad or squads of the past that's extra clumsy?
Extra clumsy. Nothing jumps. I mean, I think Hans accidentally put his passport in the washing machine, so.
Okay, that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
That's better than leaving it at a coffee shop like Berserker before the start.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh, I cannot imagine the anxiety you guys feel when your team's traveling.
Yeah. And then
triple,
the U.S.
quadruple
embassy losing Sven's passport. When was the final step of the green card, and they lost his passport. So
Oh my
that was
goodness.
wonderful.
Oh my goodness! All right,
good.
that's a fantastic first question. All right, Steve, let's see what we got
Here,
next
let's
here.
shake it up a little
Hand
bit.
it over.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Jack, read that one out. What do we got
Hopefully
here?
it's good. Oh, I think it's a great one. All right, so
Ooh.
Steve, what made you want to start your organization?
I think it probably was pretty early. I mean, I played video games when I was a little kid. I NBA Jam. I used to go to competitions. I actually would go to Blockbuster competitions and get the high score. Qualified for an MLG event for
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam. Yeah,
That's amazing.
I mean, I've just been playing video games for a long time. I love them, but I never thought of it as like a lucrative career until League of Legends came out, and then started playing and ran into a lot of the top players on leaderboard. And I think I was just following more of a passion than I was thinking about like starting a huge organization. I think it was just, let's just have some fun playing video games. And I love sports, so I think it all started there.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's kind of the beautiful simplicity of the early days of esports, right? Is that for most people it was born out of that, and only later did we realize, oh, can be a much bigger thing.
Yeah, it was definitely not about the money, and that's I think that answer really resonates with me as well. Like, it was something. It was really fun. I loved, like, taking the players on a plane, getting to a hotel, getting everything all set up, like seeing the crowds go crazy. There was like no dollars involved at all. It was basically losing money. Yeah. But it was just so much fun. Yeah. And the fact that, like, you and I were here from the beginning, from your curse days, even for me, I remember that. To where we are now is pretty special.
I remember a first title sponsor when I was there was $5,000 a month. It was fat stacks to sponsor an esports.
My first was SSDs. It was amazing. Like, they were expensive in the early days. I was like, yes, we got SSDs.
Got some solid state drives. Balling.
There's a little truth behind all those mousepad memes. You know?
I did not pay in mousepads or SSDs.
But you would try to find sponsors that would cover travel. That was the sponsor big deal. Because like you would want to fly to go and play in Kiev of all places. Like, oh, it's going to cost $6,000 to do all the flights. We need a sponsor. You know.
Totally different era. All right, what do we got next? Let's fish out another one. I think we have time for 2 more questions.
All right. What is your favorite guilty late night snack?
Ooh, okay. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be outed on this one. So my wife likes to buy Pocky in bulk. And so I am the reason why the boxes disappear sometimes at night. Honey, I'm sorry, but they're good.
Is she sitting right now watching at home being like,
I'm sure she is.
Hi.
It's going to start counting.
They'll be hidden by the time I get home. Sure.
What about for you? Late night snack?
I mean, you know it is like 9 o'clock. You're a little hungry. You want to eat something, and it's probably Jersey Mike's.
There it is.
Number 17.
Sponsor.
Maybe Monster.
Are you going to call
Monster right before bed?
You know what I love about that too, though? We said late night snack. And Steve goes 9 p.m.
I'm waiting for his phone to start ringing right now.
The classic HC.
Okay, one more question. One more question.
Right,
Dig in there. Let's see
what we got here. Hopefully it's good. Let's see.
If it's not, Mark will just ask a different question.
What title meant the most to you?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a perfect one to end on.
It's probably the first title that we won. That was in Miami. I think it was because we had been memed within the community for so long of like finishing 4th and 4th and 4th and 4th. And it gets to you after a while. You start to believe that the community is right. Like, you try everything, you're still gonna be 4th, like, but you just don't give up. You just rally when everybody thinks you're down and out, and you put together a team and you win a championship. And so it meant a lot, to win that first one.
And then you do what nobody else had done.
And then you won some more. Some more.
Yeah, you went from 4th place to winning 4 in a row.
That's way to shut up the haters.
Yeah, it was actually insane. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, like, I would say spring 2020, that win was huge for us because it had been 6 years since we had won a title. And we made some huge roster changes with bringing in Vulcan, which was a massive investment for us, bringing in Jesper, Zven to replace Sneaky, which, obviously a lot of fans were very upset about. So to have built something out of that, especially during the pandemic, felt really good.
Well, you also had so many finals apperances between those 6 years
Always
that built up to it. Yeah.
It was, he had the 4th one, I had the 2nd. It was just crazy. It was very painful. Like, the Oracle Arena, he smashed me like 3-0. That's in front of my hometown. It was just like, oh man, that was rough.
Well, again, gents, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
Walking down memory lane. Their opponents today, but both teams looking to put themselves in position to hoist that trophy one more time. While we ready up for a battle between 2 of our most storied organizations, a rivalry that has defined 2 legendary careers, and it comes to a head. Check it out.
It's kind of hard to judge how TL is as a team right now. Some games they look really good, other teams they just don't really do anything, but I guess that's kind of been the theme of Team Liquid for a couple of years now, so.
I think Jensen has been looking a little bit shaky compared to the form that I've seen him in the past, which is understandable. It's tough when you take a break or you're not playing in scrims every single day, so I think I definitely see him having a bit more moments of just oopsie, where he dies or makes a goofy looking mistake. But I think he's definitely playing better than he was 3-4 weeks ago when I was scrimming him. So I'm sure it's going to be kind of a gradual line of improvement for him. It just depends if he can make it there in time.
I think one thing Bjergsen does better than most other mid laners is he just rarely makes mistakes. I do think he can push his limits a bit more, but I think even when he's losing, he's rarely the reason why the team is losing, and when he's winning, he usually does a good job.
Definitely earlier in my career, I would say that I saw Jensen as my rival, but I think right now he's not really standing out as like a... For a long time, it was me and Jensen and then just a bunch of players that I thought were not nearly as good as us, but now I think there's Tukui, Jojo, Abe, like even Palafox at times is playing just as well as Jensen, if not better. So right now, he's not really... I don't really consider him my rival.
Fighting words.
Let's go. I actually love it. See if we can prove him wrong here. Jensen wants to make Bjergsen put some respect on his name again. Climb right back into that rivalry. Let's see. Let me remind you.
I love it.
The last time that we had Team Liquid versus Cloud9 was the very first week of the LCS, the Super Week. It was before Cloud9 got their intended starting roster here.
Yeah.
So this is technically the first actual matchup of Cloud9 versus Team Liquid with intended rosters in summer. And Fudge rolling through the memes. Cloud9 has a long list of memes to roll through.
They've always been one of the meme-hungry orgs, right?
Some vintage ones coming out here, the Renekton.
All right, let's see where we're at here in this draft. It's Seraphine, it's Trundle, it's Gangplank, Talia, Poppy, and Zeri all banned away. First pick, Renata Glasc here for Cloud9.
Definitely still pre-nerf Renata Glasc. I think the premier support just overall in the league. But as we focus in on the bottom lane, we get some Kog'Maw, Lulu, the machine gun late game combination. Immediate hover here for Blaber to trade to Berserker with the Kalista. With Zeri banned out, Kalista priority goes through the roof. So much playmaking if you can get the Renata Kalista combination. It's just such an aggressive combination early with the bailout. Kalista can afford to play really far up, and you always have that rend button to look for the execution at the right time. Make sure you survive.
But she has to. If Kalista does not push those advantages early, does not get ahead and use that aggro, she is nothing but Kog'Maw food waiting to be digested.
And Kog'Maw Lulu is even a 2-item power spike here. All you need is Lulu buffs plus your Rage Blade, and Kog'Maw's off to the races. Doesn't take as long to scale as it used to. See if Hansama and Team Liquid are able to utilize that. Anyways, jungle locked in here for Team Liquid before the bans. They get the Wukong first. With Poppy already banned out, definitely the premier one here, and they can afford to level 2 more bans at Blaber. Blaber's an interesting jungler because, you know, Olaf and lots of other junglers come to mind that you don't necessarily have to ban against other junglers.
I'm loving the signs here in the audience today. We've got a lot of quality art showing up on these cards.
Yeah, we're packed today for the Cloud9 Team Liquid, a big matchup here. A lot on the line at the top of the standings there. Team Liquid 8-4. Cloud9 only 1 game behind them currently. Gnar, the blind pick though, will be banned away. Cloud9 obviously, in exchange for not getting Blaber an early jungle pick, you know, locking in the Gwen here, and with Gangplank and Gnar already banned out, all the super high priority ones up there have been taken away. Now you're just thinking about, oh, is he actually willing? You know, Bwipo could go for Jax into it. He's got a lot in his pocket. He could even pull out an Olaf top lane still.
Well, we've got the Xin and the Jarvan, exactly what you were talking about. 2 bans straight towards Blaber. Team Liquid trying to pinch that jungle pool a little bit more here. Cloud9, do they want to look at top yet again? Or do they want to try to throw one over towards the mid lane there? And it will be that Bjergsen trademark pick in the Zillion. They do not want to have to kill Kog'Maw twice, so they will ban that out.
And Bjergsen did get his hands on it one time so far in summer. He played well, but they did end up losing the game because they had Hansama and Lucian was the only, real threat for the team, and the rest of the composition kind of fell through. And there's that Olaf we're talking about. Now, I believe 12-13 is where
All right.
The Olaf nerfs for top lane did come in with the extra mana nerf. Let me double check that it's 12-13 and not 12-14.
No worries. While that happens, we'll see what Cloud9 want to lock in for themselves. We still need to see mid. We still need to see jungle. It was that jungle pool that's been hit pretty heavily throughout the 2 ban phases. We lost the Trundle early on. We lost the Poppy early on. Talia's out of the picture. Zin and Jarvan both taken out here in the second phase. And Azir is locked in for Jensen.
Okay. And Blaber picks up the Hecarim. Blaber bringing back a lot of his old favorites here. Bringing out the Olaf previously, bringing out the Hecarim this time around. Hecarim's started to make a comeback as far as the jungle pool. They don't need any more damage. They just need the engage. They need the speed. They need the engage from this champion. The Azir and Gwen have got you covered for sure with the late game damage. And of course, Kalista for the AD. So Olaf confirming it was 12-13. That lane Olaf got nerfs. The Undertow got nerfed in mana, as well as some of the health regeneration for the champion. So this is a Bwipo special. He was actually practicing it even before summer started, when they were practicing over in Korea, and brought it back to North America as his pocket pick here for the top lane. Does great into Gwen. After the nerfs, though, we'll put it to a little bit of a test and see if he does run out of mana. The compensation buff that went along with that was a little bit of extra attack speed when you get low from your passive too. So definitely do not underestimate the Viking in the all-ins.
And the last pick of the draft was the Ahri there for Bjergsen. So that's going to be some more playmaking for the side of TL. Because when we're looking at him, the only real engage mechanism is that Wukong. So if Ahri's able to set up a couple of picks, maybe they can start a fight that way. But really, it's also going to help in being able to peel for the Kog'Maw, right? You can throw out Charms, you can throw out Everfrost. You can try to just make sure that Hans can be this massive artillery cannon that's really hard to deal with once he gets going. And like you said, 2-item power spike comes online pretty fast.
It certainly does. Olaf spiking definitely earlier than Gwen as well. See if they can actually play off of that aggression.
The crowd's ready, the teams are ready. I'm ready. Kobe, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's rock and roll. C9 versus TL. First time in summer we get to see the full rosters head to head.
Exactly. I'm so hyped for this. Cloud9 only being one game in the standings behind Team Liquid as well puts much more pressure on this one as we head towards playoffs. And these teams are jockeying for position in those playoffs, trying to get a better seed. 5 members down bottom here for the level 1 for Team Liquid. Whenever you do have Olaf, even though the cooldown refund on the Axis was nerfed a little bit, still very good for the level 1 brute force invades.
Zven happy to have sidestepped that first one there a little bit. Still gets clipped by the second, but nobody in C9 in any real danger here from this clump up from TL in the bottom side of the map. You can see Cloud9, they'll move in towards the enemy red jungle. Just keep an eye on things, see what's going on. Not really a whole lot to be found right now. That ward placed down nice and early. We'll be able to give them vision of the chicken camp to see when that's taken.
Yeah, and we got the switch over to Sweeper immediately from Santorin as well. So Wukong's coming back out onto the base, onto the field here with the Sweeper. 2 wards left behind. Unfortunately, if you start with the Trinket ward and then switch over to the Sweeper, right when your camps spawn is when your Sweeper will come off of cooldown, so you don't really have time to preemptively clear out those wards and get some free gold and experience.
All right, so down here in bottom lane, what level of aggro do we need to see out of Berserker and Zven to call this one a dub? Like, you're drafting the Kalista, you're up against Lulu, one of like the stereotypical we scale into infinity type of lane.
Yeah, I want to see them push this early so that they can get control of the wave and move into the jungle to get some vision here for Wukong. Namely this ward right here. The blue Gromp ward is really, really, really valuable for Kalista, Renata lane. They want to try and pressure this Kog'Maw, see if they can make him drop any CS at the tower. As you can see, both junglers are starting top side and are going to head down towards that lane. Yep. So we will have junglers drawn to the attention. This is a very volatile lane. Top lane as well is pretty volatile with Olaf and Gwen, but they need a little bit of time before the kill pressure is actually there. Some big shout outs. This has been one of our most popular additions.
People love this thing.
To the LCS. I love this thing. This is my favorite. Tri-lane view here, so we get to monitor. And we're talking about which lanes are volatile. Olaf here getting the talked about early advantage for the push here. So it's basically top side, Team Liquid push. Bottom side here, Cloud9, obvious push, of course, with Renata, Kalista, as we talked about being so aggressive. But with both junglers heading down towards the bottom side of the map, that's where we expect, possible fight over Crab, Vision, and playing off of that setup.
But of course, Cloud9 with the ones in control of bottom lane, they're going to have priority. They're going to have the safer move over here. So Blaber knows that he's the one who's going to be more comfortable jumping in to take that scuttle. He'll let it burn away. Santorin's nowhere nearby. He's pathing back up towards that top side, so they'll be able to split the scuttle crabs that way, even bothering to sweep out. Just make sure nothing tricky's going on here. They expect Santorin to be up in this area.
And when we were looking at all three lanes, you can see Fudge not trying to take too many trades early with Bwipo. Just keep the wave at a fairly safe spot in front of the tower and don't get too low to expose himself. Because Fudge knows, all right, Blaber is pathing down towards bottom side, our pushing lane. So that's going to be his crab. And top side is Team Liquid territory.
Oh boy, okay, the ghost is popped. Bwipo running away from this one. Fudge running after him. Both ghosts traded out here. The top laners are ready, man. They smell the blood in the water.
Definitely a volatile lane. Off of this reset with the teleport back here from Bwipo. See if second clears for the junglers are going to also aim them towards bottom side. So should be a crash here for Fudge. Giant wave with the cannon. No problem for him.
Easy stuff there. Yeah, Bwipo will just farm up whatever he can. Should be able to get most of this still down a significant amount, but that'll close very rapidly as he picks these up. Both supports here in the bot side river now. CoreJJ is going to walk up, drop that control board, finds Zven as Jensen starts moving over towards this one. Zven backing up, just doesn't want to disturb the normal flow of things too much here early on. That control ward is going to stay in the pixel brush as Hans Sama and Berserker are just sort of in a neutral state down here without their supports.
I do want to talk about the earlier recall for Hecarim. Because it's so important to get your Boots of Lucidity early. Oops, it's an arrow. for Hecarim, because it greatly increases your clear speed. Cooldown reduction lets you spam out your Qs, which has a multiplicative effect here, as each Q is going to reduce the cooldown further. And the move speed not only lets you get from camp to camp a lot quicker,
gives you damage,
but of course is going to give you damage for Hecarim. Let's see about the Bjergsen moving into the river to defend some vision, though. That triangle of vision, this kind of pathway towards bottom lane, important to be kept open because, of course, heavy trading once again.
Blaber coming down here towards bottom. He sees that both AD carries are around half HP. If C9 can tempt Team Liquid into a 2v2, Blaber can quickly turn the tide. Still sitting on top of the control board, nice and patient. Berserker throwing out a spear. Santorin comes over the wall. Okay, they found the horse and C9 backs up.
Junglers always attracted by heavy trading.
Oh, yeah.
It's like blood in the water. The sharks are circling.
Bunch of little minnows down here slapping each other around. The sharks are ready to feast.
One of the sharks has a blast cone popping over. Surprise, shark.
Flying shark.
Bottom side Scuttle Crab, though, will be retained for Team Liquid. And with the mid push, they've actually got options here as far as the setup. They start to move their vision a bit deeper into Cloud9 territory, sniffing around this dragon.
We're still waiting to see any big plays be made here. Solo laners are now level 6. Junglers getting closer to it. You can see Blaber's EXP in the bottom left of your screen about halfway there. C9 goes for a play, but they are not going to find Hans Sama. They do get his flash, but it costs Zven's flash to do so.
Ooh, look at this wraparound from Blaber. Hecarim can come past the tower and knock him forward. No flash!
He's ready to go. The heal gets used. Berserker goes forward. Hans goes down. And C9 goes back for more. CoreJJ burns away. Look at that. 2-for-1.
Blaber on the bottom side for Cloud9 gets a 2-for-1, but it's a solo bolo for Bwipo in the top lane. Taking advantage of that Olaf counter pick into the Gwen. Flowers, both of our volatile lanes explode at the same time here on opposite sides of the map, and it is a Team Liquid topside advantage into bottom side Cloud9 advantage. Exactly what we expect from the draft. These are the advantages in lane early here for these champion matchups, so it's just going to be about who can play off it better. Cloud9 really like the effect here from Blaber. Not a lot of junglers are willing to just walk through behind your tower and take a tower shot.
Yeah.
But Blaber does not have that mental block. He is fine to run through the tower with the communication here that they just traded 1-for-1 on flashes with the AD carry, using the Hecarim E to knock him away from the tower out into the distance here, and picking up not 1 but 2 kills down there on the bottom side of the map means that Cloud9 get a bigger advantage. Although it's a bigger ego advantage here for Bwipo.
Oh, yeah.
As we say, the Olaf, when you get level 6, you just run him down. Don't miss any axes. Your Conqueror is stacked. Nobody's even got the move speed here from Ghost to be able to dodge.
And Fudge could not manage to try to drain tank through it. The Executioner's calling, also cutting down some of that healing. I like this early purchase from Bwipo to be able to make sure that he can cut through that extra bit of pseudo HP.
Yeah,
in
so
sustain.
Bwipo passing our check of the 12-13 nerfs to lane Olaf. He did not run out of mana super early, didn't have to have a weird recall, and the health regen hits didn't seem to affect him at all, choosing his all-in timing quite wisely there. Meanwhile, Cloud9 and Blaber specifically want to keep playing off of their winning side of the map. Goes for the steal here on blue, and Berserker, the richest person on the ground.
Blaber stacking up that tier. Muramana Hecarim can be very, very scary with the flat added damage to all those Qs like you were talking about when he gets the stacks and has such a low cooldown. The helicopter horse is not something you want to be messing with if you're squishy.
It's definitely the most prominent solo queue build, and it has been for quite a while with the Muramana, because that's one of the ways where you can have that super strong late game damage threat for Hecarim. Pushes you over the edge if you're going the normal chem tank build here. Once you have that Muramana transform, like you're saying, you can just proc it so quickly with Hecarim. So it does give him that later extra damage there for the rest of the team. And early on, always nice even to have the tier extra mana there for Hecarim, because you're constantly spamming.
And we've got a nice early lead here for the side of C9, a little bit over 1,000 gold. They're going to take this first Drake as well. They've got control over bottom lane still. Zven and Berserker playing this 2v2 very aggressively, always maintaining control in that matchup. It buys Blaber the opportunity to do whatever he wants down here with Scuttle Crabs, blue buffs, making plays, whatever. Bottom side of the map belongs to them.
I just love this game because I remember very clearly, week 1, super weak, Team Liquid versus Cloud9, all this hype, and they're like, what if Cloud9 had their intended bottom lane? What if Cloud9 had the intended starting roster? Now we don't have to wait, Flowers. This is what it looks like. Blaber ganks down there. They've drafted an aggressive bottom lane matchup. And Berserker and Zven are making their presence felt this time around. Last time, the matchup, these two were not on the lineup. And definitely changing the course of the story here. Team Liquid, though, of course, Bwipo, his counter pick as well means topside is Team Liquid territory. And Santorin did trade the Rift Herald for the first dragon. Very worth for the early tower pushing and gold you can get out of this objective.
Yeah.
Just going to be about where can he use it. Maybe he could use it to swing the tide in this iconic Bjergsen versus Jensen matchup. If you can knock down mid turret for Ahri, even though Azir can put his own turret right back up, it still means Ahri gets to push out and start roaming around to look for picks a lot easier.
And we've only got about a minute and a half left, a little bit less now on that Herald. So Santorin is going to have to find a location to drop that here sooner than later. You'd never want to get to the point where you just are like, oh no, there's 5 seconds left, just summon it up in the jungle and it randomly
Then you
wanders
see
wherever
people
it feels
summoning
like.
it in front of a minion wave, and then the Herald gets caught on the minion wave, distracted.
We like to avoid those.
Yeah,
We like
exactly.
to avoid those. Santorin coming in mid lane now, might be looking for an opportunity to make a play on Jensen here. Nope, Jensen's far enough away that he's not really too worried about it, so the Herald just gets summoned up. It should be in charge range immediately. So let's see, Shelly, do you have to walk it all? Nope, already ready to go. There goes the charge. Nice charm coming out from Bjergsen there for a little extra damage too.
All right, then just what we wanted. Get a little bit more leverage for the Bjergsen side of this long-standing mid-lane matchup for the LCS. Although Bjergsen saying just lately, it's actually not a rivalry because he doesn't feel threatened by Jensen. Rest of the team helping him out there a little bit, heavily damaging that tower like we look for.
Yep.
See if they can open up some roaming possibilities here the Ahri. It's one of the biggest strengths of this champion, especially when the opponents have multiple targets that don't have flash. You know, Hecarim does have an unstoppable ultimate, though, that you can use to get away from charms.
This is trouble for Fudge.
Rum.
Bjergsen comes in, the charm lands. Fudge stays alive for a lot longer than I gave him credit for, but it ends up being a 1-for-1. Jensen swoops in and takes out Bwipo. Blaber wants to catch up to Bjergsen here. Does not commit the onslaught of shadows. Bjergsen still having a charge left on the ulti there, would have been able to get away.
It's honestly probably better for Cloud9. Jensen matches the roam with the teleport. They answer the kill on top laner, shove the wave in, and can get right back to clearing out his blue side quadrant here. So pretty smooth answer for Cloud9 for our big setup. All the setup we did for talking about the roaming of this Ahri, and the answer is there immediately from Cloud9. That's why Fudge staying around here under the tower, you know, pops the W, trying to keep them interested as long as possible. Bjergsen intelligently does stay inside, finishes up that kill, but since Jensen's able to answer it onto the top laner as well, gets the kill for Azir, and that is going to scale quite nicely for their team fight.
But I do want to give Team Liquid credit here for the fact that these solo lane turret plates, from the Herald bashing down mid lane there, like we saw earlier from the charge, top lane Bwipo just being his own Herald knocking those plates down, that has alleviated the pressure of this early gold lead Cloud9 had. It's sunk by about 1,000. It was plus 1.3k, now just a couple hundred up. So the game's still very close between the two squads. C9 has that first Drake in their pocket. The next one will be spawning here in a little over a minute.
And keep this in your memory, the Kog'Maw Lulu. This only gets juicier and juicier as the game goes on. Kog'Maw here rushing for the Blade of the Ruin King. Once you have Blade of the Ruin King plus your Rage Blade, that's where it really starts to melt. Anybody on the front lines, anybody in W range just gets melted, and that's where we're going to see this Team Liquid composition shine. So Cloud9, big advantages on the bottom side early on. They do need to continue this to stack up the dragons, 35 seconds on the next one, before Kog'Maw really gets a big spike. Ooh, this is actually big for Team Liquid. He just finished the Blade of the Ruin King. It's a very big single item power spike, and Team Liquid are making a 5-person roam over to the Rift Herald to try and get Rift Herald number 2.
Quite a few big single item power spikes are coming online now. Bjergsen does have his Everfrost done, which sets Ahri up for that top level playmaking. You also have Chempunk Chainsword being rushed by both the Olaf and the Hecarim because it's still so cost effective. This is before the nerfs to the cost, so that item really going to disable some of the healing here too.
Love what they are doing here for Team Liquid. They're leaving the top tower. Never mind.
Never mind. I love what they're doing here in the mid lane. Santorin setting it up so they're able to take out Jensen.
Huge stuff, because not only do they make the flash play and kill Jensen, get that extra kill in mid lane tower, they give solo tower gold on top side to the Kog'Maw Fowlers. This is all going to the Rage Blade Fund.
Oh boy, Team Liquid having an awesome series of events there. Cloud9 do manage to take the dragon during that, so they at least got something back, but TL's feeling really good, grabbing that kill in the mid lane. Bjergsen's Ahri going in with the flash to get the CC, and Jensen just gets dogpiled. Nicely done.
So much for the rivalry thus far. All right, Rift Herald number 2 still in the pockets of Santorin, so they can use it bottom side if they want to, try and get the last outer tower, open up some room for some possible split pushing. I do like the rush. Currently, this is, again, patch 12.13, so this sucker right here, Chempunk Chainsword, it is literally getting nerfed by 200 gold on live to come back in line. So very, very nice little rush here for Bwipo, even though...
And for Blaber as well.
It is not a mythic. Yeah, for both sides.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when it's good, both sides get to buy it, right? So both of them recognizing how efficient that item is. Cloud9's moving
going
on.
for it. The wraparound on CoreJJ.
Blaber's coming around from the side, but can they find what they're looking for? CoreJJ is going to be down to about 25%, and he's gone. Team Liquid flashing their jungler out of trouble, but Blaber looking to run him down. Bwipo's in the middle of everybody trying to cut through, but he can't do it. Blaber stays tanking. The bailout will not save him. Bjergsen gets one back. They kill Blaber, but they lose Core and Bwipo. C9 comes out on top.
Critically here for Team Liquid, they do have both big carries alive. Bjergsen goes for a little chunk. Han Sama there, you can see already, even on just Blade of the Ruin King, melted Blaber. Blaber is fishing around. It's like, oh, great. We possibly have some more kills here. We're just running over this team fight. But giving one back and it being the smite as well means that Cloud9 come away with +1 kill, but no objectives here. Nothing to push afterwards. No dragons, no neutral objectives up. So it's just a little good, clean fun here, fighting in the jungle.
Classic team fight.
Little rumble in the jungle here as a Blaber comes around. This is the beginning. Again, they're looking at the squishy member. If you can kill the Lulu early, you actually take away so much support. The Lulu ultimate used there by CoreJJ barely interrupts Blaber. They go for a very quick kill. The wraparound from Fudge was great. They section off Santorin and Bjergsen away at the tower, and then they burst down Bwipo. That rend was big from Berserker. Blaber sticking around too long, though. It's these double range carries here. Hansama melting him with the W on. Bork damage coming through. The Rage Knife has been picked up, but the Team Liquid hit squad is coming for Jensen again! Get out of there!
Run! All right, can he get out? Does he have any chance? I don't think he does. No, he's getting Beybladed. He's getting charmed. Oh, they're just toying with him now. Santorin's taking the kill credit. Jensen drops for the second time. TL pick up the kill.
I just imagine the pre-match talk in the Team Liquid locker room. They put up a wanted poster on Jensen.
Dead or alive.
Like, dead or alive.
Preferably dead.
Find this mid laner. Send everybody flash. Kill them over and over. And that has been a huge difference because top side for Team Liquid, kind of offset by bottom side advantages there for Cloud9, but the real transfer of pressure from top side into mid lane has opened up the map for Team Liquid, and they're making a really good use of it. The next step for them is try and use this Kog'Maw Lulu to actually gain territory around the dragons. Okay. You can give up number 1, number 2, kind of no problem, honestly.
Yeah, you're not too worried about it.
With the current state of dragons, they're not that powerful. It's really the stacking
that
mechanic
will change
there.
soon.
Exactly. On live, they get a lot more powerful. But Team Liquid now, they are going to put a stop to the Cloud9 dragon stacking. And you can see it now. You want to move all your vision resources down to this area quite early, and then just make space for this Kog'Maw Lulu to spit out damage. Bjergsen constantly looking for picks. They've got a pretty strong front line there with Santorin making a lot of space as well.
Looks like, are we going to get the charge coming out? Nicely done. So plenty of damage onto the tier 2 turret there, bottom 2. Team Liquid with 3 turrets compared to the 1 of Cloud9, plus 800 gold to the side of TL. 45 seconds until that Drake spawns with the vision that you were talking about, that control ward there. Normal ward on the backside of the Drake pit, but now C9 have the chance to move in and establish some control of their own.
Yeah, and this is a very, very common map state. With the changes that when they implemented Riftfield and Dragon. Okay. Yeah, he's got 3 charges, should be okay, but no ultimate for the Dragon now. For the Ahri, greatly reduces the chance of pick. He does have a flash charm available. But anyways, yeah, this is a very common map state because the team that invests in topside and Rift Heralds, with 2 Rift Heralds, you're going to have way more turrets down, way more territory to work with than the team that has been Dragon stacking, and it all comes down to this real pivotal point. Around 20 minutes, you usually have the decision point. Are we going to try and cut them off before they get 3 and actually Dragon Soul point? Bwipo here just pumping away on top turret.
I mean, Bwipo's up 50 CS over Fudge. This Olaf is very, very scary. Fudge can't stand there and really try to fight him. Bwipo's going to run out of the Ragnarok here soon. Remember, only 2.5 seconds you have to be dealing damage between each instance before it falls off. So as soon as Fudge disengages, Bwipo does the same. He'll be able to walk out. Nearly gets that tier 2 turret in the top lane.
I do want to talk about this too, because the Sheens for Olaf are very, very efficient. They're going to transfer over to this Baron, though. See about the vision checking from Team Liquid.
TL going after Baron. Cloud9 did take that 3rd Drake of the game. TL wasn't there contesting it. C9 has to know something's going on. Okay, they gave up the Drake. What are they up to? Baron's on the board. They're trying to sneak it.
Yeah, little just a vision check right there for Team Liquid. Hey, we'll hit it for a while. If Cloud9 have some game sense and come sniffing around, we'll just get immediately off of it. They don't give anything up because there's nothing to push for them right now. These secondary turrets are really deep and they don't have the vision to try and push and actually get one of those. So they didn't actually cost them that much to go for that little attempted Baron sneak. Cloud9 do sniff it out though. The game not going to be determined there, and Cloud9's hopes of the Dragon Soul are still alive, Flowers.
Yep.
I love it when the pressure comes down to this. Dragon Soul arriving in just under 4 minutes for Cloud9. They have Rend and Smite to be able to secure it, so you cannot go for a Smite fight as Team Liquid. You have to just run in and force the team fight before Cloud9 can force that thing low. They do have the big power spike, though. Our Rage Blade, baby.
Yes, the Rage Blade is done. And on that note, let me ask you, how imperative is it that C9 4-0s this Drake Soul and gets it immediately? Like, is that a major setback if TL takes the next one, or is that an acceptable loss here?
It's definitely a major setback. It's not a game ender, though.
Okay.
Because as we said, they have Azir, they have Gwen. They actually have some decent scaling here. Gwen with the W is actually one of the champions, frontline champions that can try and fight into Kog'Maw comps. Because, okay, Zven, though, he's very close. That charm.
Be careful, man. Star Guardian Frog.
The frog licking itself has become one of the most popular.
It's one of the best emotes. It's just so good for BM. He just looks so goofy. Team Liquid grouped up as 5 here in mid, just clearing out some of the waves. C9 going to respond by doing the same. Fudge is not grouped up with the rest of the team. You can see him walking his way up towards this location now. Teleports are online here for both top laners if they want to play a split push type of game. Bjergsen throwing out the Everfrost there, but he's not going to find anything onto the Cloud9 members. C9 backs up a little bit. Hans is so deadly. Blaber has to be so careful about getting in range of him.
Yeah, so how goes the Hecarim?
Blaber's ready to go in. Santorin looking to disengage it, flashing back out now with the ulti. They nearly kill Blaber. Team Liquid makes Cloud9 think twice about it. Nice charm coming out from Bjerg. They're gonna save Zven there with Berserker's ulti. Team Liquid trying to get back away. Bwipo saved by CoreJJ. Both teams skirting the edge of death here.
I actually love it. 2 prize fighters throwing big punches, but every time the target escapes with 200 health. Everybody evacuating their low health members. It does leave this Baron in darkness for Team Liquid, though, in Cloud9. This is a small advantage they got out of this fight. It's not a small advantage. No. It's a huge advantage. Baron picked up in the aftermath. They did enough damage to the front line. Cloud9, no blood loss, Flowers, but huge objective one.
Massive win for C9. They're going to have this Baron for the next 3 minutes, and that 3 minutes will also be the point where the dragon spawns. That's the soul. This is so difficult now for Team Liquid to stop. Wow. C9 is loving this. That was huge.
Yeah, definitely a big overlap here. Let's see, too, because remember, Cloud9 were the team without as many towers down. They only have 1 tower to their name, so this Baron can give you a lot of gold. There's a lot of standing gold in these towers here, up on top side, in mid lane as well. Pretty easy to go get that, and then try and set up for the dragon. 1 minute left, though. They're going to move all their vision right down here now. Scuttle Crab already been taken by Team Liquid. They will have permanent vision thanks to that.
Blaber, you can see him galloping down there, but there's not really a play to be made on Bwipo. Also worth noting the stopwatch on Blaber. His engage could be very ferocious here. Hans Sama.
Biggest thing is to track this cooldown of the W activations for Kog'Maw.
Well, right now, Blaber's just about to lose everything. Hans Sama just shreds him.
30 seconds, though. You can actually get back to base no problem and just heal up, especially with the Baron-empowered recall. That's a good chunk of damage, but it won't mean Blaber is out of this dragon fight. He can run straight back.
And that's why I say the stopwatch is so important. He can engage, he can be that ballistic missile that starts the fight and then not immediately die, as long as the rest of the squad can follow up and put that pressure on Hans.
Okay, vision advantage for Team Liquid. They're looking for the picks here. Got to be careful.
Fudge coming around from the side, but remember, it's Team Liquid here waiting on the flank. They're going to find Fudge. They're looking for him with Santorin and Bwipo. Bwipo now on the front line. He's going to be killed off first. Team Liquid lose their top laner. Blaber now locked down in the front, but there's that stopwatch. Team Liquid have lost 2, and Jensen's looking to make it 3. He chases after Bjerg and forces him back over the wall. C9 win the fight. C9 win the soul.
They get everything, Flowers. They get the soul. They get the kills on the front line. Team Liquid were split. They were sectioned off. It was a really strong engage from Blaber. He chases away the Team Liquid carries from the frontliners that were hiding in the brush. And Cloud9 won't stop there. House of the Dragon Soul. Baron empowered push here for Jensen. King of the Chickens is going to claim his own subjects. They've been hunting him all game long, but Jensen's the one with the bounty on his head now.
The House of the Dragon, the King of the Chickens, Cloud9 is getting everything. Let's take another look at how it happened, because Bwipo and Santorin thought they caught Fudge.
2 pockets here. So Team Liquid, they've got the carries to the top side and just the front lines down here so they can section them off. Blaber immediately retreats back to kill the front line, and they take away everything from Team Liquid. Blaber then, the stopwatch you mentioned, he goes ultimate to scare them away, and then stopwatch, make sure he doesn't die. Really good job of Cloud9 sectioning off this Team Liquid team, splitting apart their front line and their back line.
Strongest item in the game costs 600 gold, baby. One use can change the landscape of a fight like that. It keeps Blaber alive so he can smite the objective down afterwards. And now C9, this gold lead is about to balloon even further. 3,000 gold up.
Oh, they're teleporting to pick off Bwipo.
Yeah, they're looking for something here. Let's see. All right, Bwipo should be able to get out of that. All right, he detects that there is not good times heading his way. He has to get out.
Yeah, that was a deep teleport down here at this ward behind the blue buff for Fudge. Attempted trap there from Cloud9. Yeah, thank you, observers. Yeah, they don't have any CC close enough. Blaber not going to be able to get there to interrupt on Bwipo's teleport. It's just a 1-for-1 trade.
Cloud9 are loving the current game state, so let me ask you, what's the plan here for TL? Just keep on scaling, keep putting the eggs in the Kog'Maw basket?
You have to just keep your spirits high, yeah.
Okay.
You want to create pockets of vision. Sweepers, control wards, put those down, and then hope for a pick. You always want to be able to hope for that for the late game. Bjergsen here, 2 levels down on the Ahri now. That is really the hope for them.
Jensen level 16 here on the Azir. Despite the bullying attempts on him, it hasn't really kept him down, my friend. He's up in farm. He's still got 3 kills, 3 full items completed here with a Void Staff and the Rylai's with the Liandry's there. So the slows from the constant damage of the soldiers penetrating through the resistances, even if you're trying to build those, like you can see Bwipo here having the Negatron Cloak working towards that force of nature. There's a lot of magic damage on the side of C9 between those 2 solo laners, and it's going to be hard for Bwipo to survive when he runs in these places.
Certainly is. And actually, it looks like Blaber, instead of going for the Muramana, which would instantly transform, he's already got 360 stacks on the tier, he's going to upgrade the stopwatch to a Zhonya's. Already picking up the AP tome here, so he wants more of those big stopwatch plays. If you can create space like that, it's actually invaluable. A little bit of extra damage proc is not going to win you the team fight, but that zoning will.
Yeah, and there's no tank item you're going to build that'll let you survive against a fully supported Lulu Kog'Maw. He's going to shred you no matter what. The only thing he can't kill is something he can't attack.
Exactly.
Zonya's noise, not MP4. That's how you... Oh, no. We Zonya's the game. My bad.
My bad.
Sorry about that.
Stopwatch, my favorite. Captain Flowers, fat finger at his Zhonya.
Oh, no, dude. I accidentally pressed the key. Hopefully, we can get back in the game here real soon.
The game goes golden.
The game is golden, and we are stuck in Stace.
I want to time this, see if the crowd, if we can time the Zhonyas of the game and just hit them with a big cheer right when we get back into game. See if we can spur a team fight on. You know how you want to, you always want to time like some CC landing, like a charm, just as they come out of Zhonyas.
Right. So you want to time the crowd noise with the game working again.
Yeah.
But how are we going to know when the game's ready to work?
I didn't say it was easy, okay?
I mean, to be fair, it's not easy to time those in the game sometimes, too. I see people miss those a lot.
I'm going to ask production. Maybe they can tip me off. I'll give like a 5-second warning or something like that.
Okay, all right. 5-second warning.
Yeah. They're getting my ears now. They're like, why are you asking for this? Stop making our jobs difficult.
It's for the bit. We're trying to do it for the bit. Ping investigation.
It's a game. Okay. It's a game. The pause is just a game, okay?
The pause is part of League of Legends.
True. Ping investigation. That just makes me think of solo queue and the people.
Would somebody spam pings like 2,704 ping?
Because you know when you're playing with your friends and someone will use just the generic ping, which doesn't say who used the ping.
Yeah.
And so you have to figure out which one of my friends is trying to tilt me right now. They're trying to hide who.
Yeah. That's the
the
secret agent like saboteur ping.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nobody knows where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So you can actually like blame it on other people too. Like maybe bot lane's not having a good laning phase. Just ping one of them over and over again.
Generic
then you think it's the other guy.
And they always get mad. Stop pinging me. Who's pinging me?
Yeah. No, that's the secret ping for sure. That's the good sauce right there. But you know, I'm worried for TL in this game, Kobe. Things are not looking super great for him. Despite the fact that you got Kog Lulu, the Juggermaw, very scary, but Golden Horse doesn't care.
Exactly. You definitely should be worried. I know, and I can see on the faces of these Team Liquid fans, they are worried right now, Flowers, because it requires a big comeback play. And that's why we talk about these pockets of vision where maybe they can make a surprise play if you can pick somebody off who does not have a stopwatch.
Well, the only pick-off tools we got, Olaf doesn't have those, Lulu doesn't have those, Kog'Maw doesn't have those. It's got to be Bjergsen or it's got to be Santorin. That's it. So I'm looking at Bjergsen, who was talking all that smack. Let's hear it. Let's see it. Where's the king?
Let's see it. All right, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. They didn't give me a heads up.
They didn't give us a... It's okay. We missed the skill shot. It's all right.
They got away. All right, it's fine.
Okay, how much time do we got? 2.5 minutes on the Elder, 20 seconds on the next Baron.
All right. I'm not hearing any game
Yeah, I don't
sounds,
have
are
any
you?
game
It's okay.
sounds. So, all
this
right.
is stealthy.
So here's what we're
stealthy
gonna
League
do.
of Legends.
Next team fight, we're
All right,
gonna
we
do
got
the
the
Korean
sound.
casters version.
I got
and you're
the
gonna make
audio
the
back
noise.
anyway.
Oh. Well, I was kind of looking forward to your sound effect.
All right, I can still do some Wukong extendo stick. Wow.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. All right, Santorin's only level 13 in this game as well, so pretty far behind himself as the Baron is started up by C9. They are
God, they're
daring
gonna
Team
flip.
Liquid to come and answer.
Rend,
this is just
Rend.
going to be bursted down. There's no way
with the
in.
Rend.
Team Liquid, now they got to try to get away as Blaber jumps in, and Blaber just gets destroyed. Bailout's not going to save him. Zven tries to get away now too. Bwipo runs down Fudge as Zven tries to escape. Santorin is on top of Berserker. That's already 2. Going over to Team Liquid. Santorin staying alive for a little bit moment longer. He's going to be taken down by Berserker, but what happens to C9 now? The axes are flying, and Zven's still dying. Bwipo tries to find another, but Berserker's able to get away. TL may have lost the Baron, but they find 3 kills.
Team Liquid rally caps are on, Flowers. 3 kills. They can try and push in for one of these low health tower objective bounties maybe. Blaber's gonna recover in 15 seconds though. Oh, they had it at their fingertips, almost able to pull off the big comeback here. Let's take another look at this damage. So Rend, really hard to outsmite. Santorin did get in the pit, but they couldn't do it. But this charm from Bjergsen, point blank onto Blaber, and then they polymorph him. Then they hit him with the Everfrost. It's chain CC for Blaber, almost 100% to 0, and then he dies as he ults away. They don't have the bailout either, and it's just a free-for-all. Team Liquid trying to chase down as many kills as they can. Bjergsen gets the other pick there onto Fudge. They finish off that one. Top side here, Santorin was trying to lock in Berserker, but Berserker able to get enough spears into Santorin, and then Zven handshakes him away. They get the Rend out for the kill back on the side of Cloud9. 3 kills for Team Liquid, 1 for Cloud9, but Cloud9 still have the Baron buffs on both Jensen and Berserker.
6,000 damage, Sama Kog'Maw. That's what Team Liquid needs to see every single one of these fights. Blaber does have his Zonias completed now, so those engages, they won't just be able to chain CC him down to death again. They're going to have to be able to fight through that. It's Team Liquid with control over the Drake Pit as the Elder spawns. Sama will be zoning everybody away. This Kog'Maw has reached artillery status.
Oh, certainly has. Bjergsen on the top side, look at another chunk onto Blaber. Gonna get the crab, but it all comes down to this. Bjergsen does have ultimate up here with the level 16 Ahri. Sama full on mana too, so they've got plenty of poke they can throw out.
Nobody's starting up the Drake just yet. You can see Bwipo and Santorin hanging out together. They gotta be careful that they don't have a repeat of what happened the last time these two tried to fight in the C9 jungle.
Okay, with the Ocean Soul, Cloud9 have the possibilities of throwing out a couple of attempts at these plays and then healing right back up.
Yeah.
As long as you damage something, even neutral objectives.
And you can see Jensen was getting the wave shoved up there in the mid lane as Team Liquid start up the Drake. They're maintaining control over these brushes. You can see the control wards in there just so nobody can see them as they're attempting this.
Yeah, Berserker trying to get a couple spears into the dragon so that if it comes down to a smite fight, they can always look for a Rend.
Yeah.
Those spears time out.
Santorin's at half HP. Team Liquid, man, we are stuck in a standoff here.
Team Liquid, they're looking for the pick. Meanwhile, you see Jensen immediately, he's going back to push this mid wave. Azir going for mid, while Cloud9 retain pressure on this Elder Dragon. Team Liquid can't give up the Elder Dragon.
Santorin gets hit with the handshake. He's still at about half HP. Jensen and Bjergsen stuck in a 1v1 here in the Team Liquid jungle. Elder at 2/3. Team Liquid backing away again. Fudge is tanking the Drake. He can tank it for pretty much ever with the Ocean Soul. It doesn't do anything to him.
What's the timer on this standoff on Dragon? My goodness, oh my goodness. Another wave is getting pushed here. All 3 lanes going ahead. They call it off. It's
Everybody's going home. Everybody's going home. Wow. This game is delivering, Kobe.
The diplomats from the House of the Dragon Soul have been able to buy some time
To reach an agreement.
to reach an agreement for the life of this Elder Dragon.
Alrighty, Elder Dragon, he's
Number
under
2.
fire again. It's Berserker putting lots of spears
All right,
into
the
it
Rend
this
is gonna
time.
happen.
TL has to know that this Rend smite is coming.
They have to go before
have to
2K.
know they gotta get in there. Dragon's gonna reset now. Here we go, the fight's ready to break out now, and Zven is already down. Blaber stuck in the middle of everybody as Bwipo will try to cut Jensen to pieces. The shutdown comes through for Bjerg, and C9 scrambles to try to find a little bit more here in the fight. Berserker's still going forward, and they've turned it around. Goes, snip, snip, and Bjergsen's looking a lot like paper. He keeps chasing. Berserker's right behind him, and they're ready to go. Fudge with a hop, skip, and jump over the wall, and Bjergsen tries to continue the escape. Blaber wants to run down Bwipo, but it's a little bit too dangerous underneath that turret.
Oh my god, they chased him all the way away from the Elder Dragon, so they're just gonna push in on this mid-inhibitor turret. They're walking right back to it now. Berserker and Blaber want to go finish this sucker off. Nobody from Team Liquid is there right now, but there's a teleport on Bjergsen. He could fish around, maybe a Hail Mary play. If he's not teleporting yet. This thing's getting too low. The Ren stacks are stacking up. If that thing gets even to like 2.5K, it's probably in the hands of Cloud9. They give it up.
Yeah, it looks like Team Liquid's deciding to surrender this one. We had them dance around that fight for what felt like 3 or 4 minutes. It then explodes into a pretty even when the Cloud9 ends up taking, and they earn the Elder from it.
We're just milking this one, Flowers.
Oh,
We got a
yeah.
little pause in there to delay. Another standoff around the Elder Dragon. Big game here. And you see Fudge on the top side of your screen coming in now, the late teleport on this Gwen.
Yep.
So initially, Team Liquid get a huge lead in the fight, but Hansama got feared off up into the jungle right next to Fudge, where Fudge was coming in. Berserker gets the rend out there. The shutdown kills him off as well as the Lulu, and then they can just move forward behind the Gwen. Baron is the next target for Cloud9. They've got the Ocean Soul regenerating them. They've got spears in that Baron. There's little risk here at all.
C9 with both super buffs here for the next 2 minutes. Team Liquid has to dig in and weather the storm. Bjergsen will take down a tier 2 in the process. Just grab that before it's time to head back and probably defend. These remaining tier 2 turrets on the side of TL here in the side lanes will be knocked down incredibly easy by this Baron buff, Elder buff C9 squad. Berserker is 5 items with the 6th slot being occupied by a stopwatch. It's scary. The turret, look at that thing. It's already gone. C9 brute forcing their way into the Team Liquid base.
Yeah, now you see it, now you don't. Cloud9 make it disappear, and they're not done yet. They're gonna push for Nexus turrets here, all 5 with Baron buff.
They've got the Baron, they've got the Elder. They know how strong they are right now. They really want to just get the most out of this they can. Hans will try to remove as many of those minions as possible, but he's already down to 1/3 HP. C9 take the chance, and they go for the throat. They take the first Nexus turret as Team Liquid has to regroup and heal their AD carry.
37 seconds left on this Elder Dragon buff. That is the big game-changing buff right now they're using to brute force this. It's gonna fall off in one more minion wave. So they have this minion wave. This is the one to protect. This is the one to end the game on.
All right, do they go for it? Hans firing off those auto attacks. It's putting a lot of pain in people. Blaber's looking for the angle, seeing if he can go in. They're gonna take down the tower, and now it's a fair fight. Santorin's jumping into the middle of everybody, but Blaber's gonna grab the kill onto Bwipo now as Bjergsen is golden in the middle of everybody. C9 just blast him. Double kill back over to Berserker. The Elder Dragon roars, and C9 defeat Team Liquid.
What a game! What a game! 38 minutes. We go. Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, part 2. This one with the intended starting roster for Cloud9. They dominate the bottom side of the map early. Blaber goes for the dive behind the tower, off of the flash being blown. They use that, they stack the dragon's flowers. They keep on stacking those dragons. They acquire the neutral objective focus. Cloud9 pulled out in the end, but a valiant effort there from Team Liquid. A couple of big moves, couple of big comeback fights.
Yep.
But not enough.
And these teams are now tied in the standings. I cannot wait until we get to see these two go head-to-head again.
Definitely a banger. Trying to squeeze out a little bit extra time there with the Zonias in the middle of the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. C9 and Team Liquid, that game delivered, man.
8-0-6 for Berserker on the Kalista. Fans hate this champion.
I hate this champion, but he gave me a reason not to. That was an awesome Kalista performance coming out from Berserker.
Haters everywhere, trying to lay it on, but Berserker goes legendary on the Kalista. That is how you do it. You've got scaling elsewhere on your team.
Yeah.
The Azir, the Gwen, gonna be able to carry the brunt later.
That Elder Dragon dance that lasted 4 minutes. That was my favorite sequence, just constantly going in, seeing what they could get, poking back and forth. And then when we finally do get the fight, both sides just explode with everything they've got. What an awesome game that was. Sometimes we have these hype matchups, and it ends up being really one-sided. One team's got the other side figured out. This time around, they both came out swinging. The fights were so much fun to watch. Like, TL and C9, man, this was awesome. Jensen's going to be joining the State Farm analyst desk after the break. But as the war for the LCS crown rages on, HBO's House of the Dragon shows what it takes to come out on top. Check it out.
I have decided to name a new heir. I'm your heir. Dragons. A power man should never have trifled with. War is afoot.
Knives will come out.
Now they see you as you are.
Upgrade your shimmery slippers to keep sparkling.
Hey, Ash, what's your plan?
A new and very serious game, Jake from State Farm, but these in-game purchases are wrecking my wallet. I can't keep sparkling, Jake. I need a sparkle.
State Farm has options like combining home and auto, so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Very nice. The gameplay is really strategic, I swear.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.